Donna, you have so many trees around here. How did you end up putting the garden in this spot?
Well, it was a flatter spot than most of the rest of the yard. And when we first moved here, this was solid trees. My husband took a chainsaw and his skid loader and cleared it all out. And then since then, we've been amending the soil with compost leaves and some horse manure from our neighbors and things like that. It was just the most sunny spot in the yard after we took the trees out. Consistent sun. So it worked really well for the vegetable garden.
So then I take it you have critters.
We have deer that come in from the woods and they like to sample everything. So about 4 years ago, we built the fence, and it's a utilitarian fence, so it's not a fancy fence, but it works wonderfully.
Do you have any trouble with rabbits getting in?
No, I have the smaller rabbit fence along the bottom and then keep dirt up, pushed up to it.
I see you have some plants in here and some on the outside. What's the difference, or why the plants in different areas?
The plants behind us are the raspberries, 2 varieties, a fall bearing and a summer bearing, one on either side, and then the rhubarb in the middle. And then on the west end of the garden are the vinier plants because they grow all over. The squash, zucchini are over there.
Anytime.
On the corner I have a wildflower little garden area. I can't pass up a free packet of seed, so.
Do you do a lot of canning with all of this garden produce?
Stop here.
We eat out of this garden all summer long. We love everything fresh. So I try to grow, things in succession. I've planted green beans, for example. I have like 3 different time frames that I plant them. So, and some do better in the cooler season, of course, than in the summer, but we'll see how that goes. I do have a couple varieties of onion. I like red onion a lot, and I use that and yellow onion, and they store pretty well if you let the tops dry properly. I have several varieties of peppers. My husband's a fan of hot peppers, so I have those, and most often we pickle them. Cucumbers, which are always good, and then I have broccoli and cauliflower, and the greens that we eat, and I plant those as well in succession all summer long, so we get them all the time. I also grow beets, which we enjoy, cooked and even cold on a salad. And then I have turnips, which is a plant that I've not tried this year, a tuber vegetable. I've grown parsnips in the past, but I've taken the turnip tops and cooked them like you would collard greens with a little bacon. They're delicious.
I think I see some marigolds. Do you have those here in the garden too?
I do. I have some marigolds. I like to do companion planting, and marigolds are good for pollination and also to repel certain bugs on some plants. So I have them in a few different areas.
Tell me about your cabbage.
Well, I grow cabbage because we make sauerkraut, and that'll be coming probably in about 2 to 3 weeks. Well, we do it in a very basic way. We have a turkey fryer kettle that we line with a clean garbage bag, a sturdy garbage bag, and then we bring the cabbages in and then clean them and weigh them so we know how much we're working with the salt ratio. And then I just clean it and cut it, and my husband cuts it with a mandolin, and then it gets layered in the kettle inside the garbage bag with salt at every couple inches. You sprinkle a little salt in there, and then when the kettle gets full, we push it down, and then we take another garbage bag and fill it about 1/4 to 1/3 of water and set that on top. And that's it. And then we just wait for about 4 weeks, and then it gets processed in a boiling water bath. When we make our sauerkraut, we like to add kale for the green. It just adds a little bit extra color, and onion. And they both take on the flavor of the kraut itself. But we really enjoy sauerkraut, and we use it all winter long.
So when you make your sauerkraut, how long does it last?
Processed in a boiling water bath, it usually about a year, but I give it away so it doesn't last that long here.
How do you keep up with all of the watering here in your garden too?
This year it hasn't been a problem, but I just have a Rainbird sprinkler with a spigot over here in the yard with the well is there, and I just water. I just put and I'll leave it sit for hours and just water.
When you have the fence here, do you till this in the spring?
My husband has a tractor and a tiller, and I wanted the 6-foot fence so he could get through with his tiller. So he'll till it for me in the spring. And then I have a hand tiller that I use in between the rows until things get too big.
How do you keep track of what you plant where?
I keep maps of my garden, and I also kept journals for years of all the varieties and things that work well for me and that have performed well. And I add in plant dates and harvest dates and various varieties, as I said. So I keep a garden journal, and that's very insightful.
When do you usually plant your garden?
The second week of May for the seed, and into the 3rd to the 4th week of May for the plants.
Well, they're about double the size of my plants, so whatever you're doing is great. So, do you have any future plans for beds or changes here in your yard?
I would love to have more beds, but I can't because I have already enough. But I'm getting a greenhouse next spring. It's going to be built over the winter with the help of our Amish friends. And so that's going to be out here as well. So I intend to start some plants, and my friend and I will be having a plant sale in the spring because she starts plants as well.
What kind of advice would you have for people that are just starting out?
I would keep a garden journal. And it's just little notes of what you get a notebook and just put in little notes of maybe some varieties that you've tried that have worked and maybe have not worked. Dates of planting, dates of harvest. Use resources too. There's a lot of resources online. There's a lot of books. I use the companion planting practice. Carrots Love Tomatoes was a common book years ago. Just use your experiences and use the experiences of other people.